I am gaming. I am gaming. I am gaming podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for being on the latest episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, and many more cool things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. Like always, a huge thanks goes to my Patreon supporters who make this podcast possible. Without your donations, I wouldn't be able to create a single episode per month and put it on my YouTube channel, so a huge thanks goes to all of you. Everyone else, please check out the ventures from my Patreon supporters that you can find in the description below. The links will take you to their YouTube channels, podcasts, Twitch streams, games, NFT projects, and so many other cool things. Please do that, and also please consider supporting them on Patreon as well. A buck or two per month would be more than awesome. Now this is episode 143, and in it I'm going to talk about The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, the new TV show on Amazon, and its handling of the Irish accents of Half-Foots, a breed of people in the Middle-earth who are kind of the predecessors to hobbits, which is in my view really creepy and weird, and it kind of builds up into that negative stereotype of people from Ireland that is over a century old and kind of continues to proliferate in modern culture, in modern pop entertainment products like this huge, enormous TV show. Now, first of all, I watched a single episode, so my kind of impressions of the whole show are not yet set. I have some pros and cons, some things I like, some things I don't like in particular. I'm going to talk about that later, probably in a couple of weeks when I watch a bit more, or maybe when I'm finished with the whole season. But the thing that struck me immediately was this notion of these predecessors of hobbits who are called half-foots, and they are small folk living in the forest having these really thick, heavy Irish accents, while at the same time being kind of muddy, shoddily dressed, unkempt, with their hair all over the place, full of rags, I'm guessing. They're clothed in rags, but their hair is also filled with things from the forest, who hide from outsiders, live this kind of a joyful existence, but still the association with the Irish accent is really weird, because yet again it goes to that negative, an assortment of negative stereotypes about people coming from Ireland. And I'm not sure how anyone in Amazon kind of overlooked it, because everyone else has those kind of same accents that were defined in the old Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies, which has a bunch of issues with that as well. But in this case, these accents and the whole vibe of that race completely fits in with these really old, like 19th century stereotypes of people from Ireland being basically poor and merry and kind of like hobos or something to that effect. And the fact that they're all running around barefoot, which is kind of associations for the hobbits, but hobbits are, on the other hand, look completely different. These people, set many millennia before the original trilogy, are basically kind of a race of hobos from the forest who speak like people from Ireland, which is weird because it's completely unnecessary in terms of giving them any kind of identity, without realizing that the association with that would be kind of odd and would play into old negative stereotypes on an array of things and issues. And the only thing that is absent in terms of like negative stereotype is having them drink. So just associating them with drink and being basically homeless, happy homeless drunks, you have a full stack of that literally 19th century British negative stereotype of a person from the island of Ireland. And that's a weird thing to have in a modern setup, in a modern environment, where their accent isn't something that is kind of mellow and something that you have a hard time noticing. It's really on the nose, it's really thick and dense, intense. They really sound like they were going for a really distinctive and recognizable Irish accent. and having all those elements, and it's literally like somebody really didn't think about it, or like somebody really wanted to play upon those stereotypes. I don't know what's worse, but I can't feel that there is any sensible explanation where you can look at this and say, oh yeah, this is kind of interesting. Because a next step to this would be kind of literally to give them bottles and then have them enter fights or like drunken brawls, because with that you will have that Dickinsonian stereotype from 19th century played out in a modern biggest TV show in history so far. So I'm guessing that people from Ireland are not enjoying any of this. I'm betting there are explanations from the production in Amazon. What does that mean and why there is the Irish accent? I saw one interview where one of the authors or people who worked on the show said that they wanted to reflect that idea of Celtic roots in Harfoots and the idea that they're hardworking and family oriented. Yeah, that's kind of trying to play it out into a more positive light. But the fact remains that they still look like vagabonds and people loitering about, hiding from other people, basically like being there incognito, and they're muddy, they're dirty, they are dressed in rags. Yeah, I don't see that playing out too well in Ireland. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but it really stuck me immediately, and the whole notion behind it remains a mystery to me, but one that clearly is more or less negative for Amazon. So another weird thing from a huge company on a huge series, a thing that will probably have an even stronger backlash, I'm guessing, in Ireland and people who have Irish ancestors. But I would love to hear what you think about it, especially if you are from Ireland. Do you find this kind of offensive or weird, or you didn't even notice it? So I would love to hear your take on the whole accent thing. Of course, if you watched the show. And if you didn't, please do, and then let me know what you think about it. This is all for this episode. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching and listening to episode 143. My name is Ivica. If you'd like to support me, please do. There is a bunch of ways how you can do that. Of course, the most logical and easiest is to subscribe to my channel. Other means include sending me $1 or $2 every month on Patreon, checking out my books on Amazon, or sending me some crypto. Whatever you like. If you like to support me, I would be more than grateful. If not, well, thanks for listening anyway. That's all for this episode. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you in precisely 7 days from now. Until then, bye bye.